Welcome back to Charlie's Mailbox, where I answer actual questions from actual people in my inbox. This week is different in two ways. One, it is the last episode of the 24-25 school year. I hope that you've gotten some value in previous episodes, and we'll certainly continue them next year. The other is that while certainly the questions keep coming in, I'm going to address a question that's actually from me that I've been wondering about. And perhaps you've been wondering about it too, and I hope that this helps you. So the question is about planning for Rise. I am offering a course in game programming where I have a real variety, a real range of prior experience. And I'm thinking about how can I use AI as a learning assistant to meet students where they are and bring them forward. So I want to share with you some thoughts. I've been doing a little research into this and some ideas for how you might proceed with this. So the first question is, should you use a custom product, something like School AI, for example? Or should you use a general chatbot, Gemini? And I have opted for Gemini in this case, but I'll briefly explain that one nice thing about using School AI is you can create what's called a space. And in a School AI space, you can set the chatbot up so it's prepared for knowing where students, what students are working on, what their needs are going to be, etc. And then it allows students to join that space and have those conversations. And it also does a nice analysis of each conversation, letting you know as a teacher how much time the student spent and a summary of the conversation. Unfortunately, with the free version, it does not allow the student to then pick that conversation up the next day. So each conversation is a fresh start. And so it's for that reason that I'm going to try to use Gemini so that students can continue the conversation they had the previous time. So I'd like to show you my plan, and I'm still developing this, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. And that is when students have individual time, they're going to review the goals that they set the previous day in Gemini, and then they're going to work on those goals, hopefully have some fun. And then at the end of each session, they will complete a reflection, set goals for the next class, and then they will share with me, and I'll show you how, their reflections so I can sort of have a sense of what it is that they have been doing. So let's talk about using Gemini. First of all, because it's a general chatbot, unlike School AI, the student will have to put in a prompt that allows Gemini to get a sense of who they are. So my recommendation there, and what I'm going to do, is I'm going to give students this prompt. Hey, Gemini, I'm starting a 9-session elective course on game development, and I'm going to have them fill this out themselves. And they're going to put this initial prompt into Gemini. And I've put some things in here for the students to complete that will then allow the chatbot to get a sense of who they are and specifically where they are in game development. Are they a complete beginner? Do they have some experience? That sort of thing. And then based on that, they're going to come up with a plan. And that plan can adjust day by day. So they'll go into Gemini and do that. Now, I actually have set up over here a student account to sort of demonstrate that idea. Here I am in that student account, and I have filled out the prompt, and I'm just going to go ahead now and copy it, and I'm going to go into Gemini, and I will paste it in, and let's see what Gemini has to say. Incidentally, I told it that I've done a little bit of Roblox. I've told it that I want to make a platformer game, etc. So, Gemini has developed a personalized Game Maker Studio learning path. Game Maker is the software we use to make games, and talks about its the principles here, and looks like it's got some things ready for me to do. Some sessions all laid out. Wow, it's doing all sessions at once. That's quite interesting. You can see it's giving you specifics on how to do these things. So this is looking pretty interesting. One thing I think that would be helpful for students would be to have video tutorials as well. So I'm going to say, can you recommend video tutorials to support this learning? And again, I'm figuring this out as I go. I might insist that students put this in. And here we go. So now I'm getting some links to some YouTube channels that might be helpful. And oh, nice. And now it's saying for each session, which video maybe I should be watching. So I find that really useful. My hope and my goal is that students will then work through, and as they're working through this, they will be asking questions to Gemini, and that will allow me to be walking around the room, checking in with individuals, seeing what they're doing, maybe redirecting them as necessary, etc. And then at the end of each session, they are going to have a reflection. And the idea here is that they would answer these questions. And very importantly, the last one is, based on my progress and what I've learned, what specific goals should I set for myself for our next session? So that even though those sessions were pre-planned, the idea would be that based on what the student actually accomplished, what is realistic for the next time. Now, one nice thing about that is I'm not going to actually do that as a student because I haven't actually done the work, but I do want to show you one neat thing. Is when they do this, when they put in their reflection and set their goals, I want to know what that is. And it's a great feature in Gemini down here. It's this share feature right here. And if you click share and export, there's two cool things you can do, by the way. One of them is to export to docs if you yourself are using Gemini and you want to put the results into a nicely formatted document. However, the other one that's really nice is draft an email. So if I click that one, it's going to create an email. And if I go to open Gmail, here is that conversation, right? And now I can just, I'll have the students put my email address in here, and I'm going to have them change the subject to, reflection day 1 or whatever. And then I have this nice email thread that I can follow, seeing where each student is. So I hope that is helpful. I'll certainly see how it goes, but my hope is that it will allow me to individualize when students are working individually, which, by the way, will not be the entire day, but when they are doing that, and also allow me then the freedom to walk around and really support them. So happy to hear any ideas that you all have for this sort of thing. Wishing you all best of luck with Rise and with the remainder of the year, and I'll see you in the 25-26 school year.